This is the all-new Global Voice Broadcasting, a radio network focusing on all the things you're passionate about. Stories about music, entertainment, life, and more. We walk it, we play it, we live it, and we talk about it on Global Voice Broadcasting.
Indies in Motion is the most entertainingly different variety show on the net. We've got the best host. He's a maker, he's a shaker, and he's coming to you live from Hollywood. Mr. Rick Mizuno.
All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I've already said my introduction, but I'm really excited to introduce my next guest. I'm over here fumbling with the controls and everything, but I want to make sure I get his mic up. But this, in a word, this is like an entertainment mogul. He's a musician. He's an entrepreneur. He's the founder and CEO of, I think it's pronounced TYAD Media Corp. and 3 Media Entertainment. And that is from L.A. and becoming my new friend, my brother from another mother, Jerry Holden. Welcome to Indies in Motion, Jerry.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. I think a number of us in there kind of like covering our mouth, a little cough here and there.
The cough is lingering longer than I wanted it to.
But you sound great, bro.
It got better over the weekend.
Yes, I heard that. Man, so let's just jump right into it. Because you're involved in a lot of different things, and my show intro talks about me being a maker and a shaker, but you are tremendously up there on the top making things happen, man. So explain to us what your media groups are all about.
The first thing that I formed was about 24 years ago was TYAD Records, and named after 2 of my sons, Tyler and Adam.
Oh, cool,
and,
nice.
But over the years, we've developed the companies, and now we have TYAD Media Corp, which is a conglomerate for different divisions. TYAD Pictures, TYAD Music Group, which is 9 record labels. They're all genre.
9?
Yeah, genre specific. So I have 9 label presidents that oversee each one of the different labels. And it's pop, urban, country, Latin, jazz, dance, and comedy. We have the only comedy label. That's
wow, you don't see that anymore.
Right. Michael Winslow, the comedian and voice-instrumentalist, is our vice president of A&R for that label. So he really oversees all of the comedy acts that we sign for the comedy label. So I have all of these great presidents that oversee the labels. Then we have our film companies and concert promotions and
I mean what I guess it's fair to say, what don't you have your hand in as far as entertainment and entertainment is concerned, huh?
There's a lot of what we do is entertainment based. Even our third company, which is Holden Media Development, that is our property development division.
When we say property development, meaning
we're building entertainment based properties for all of our other companies. Like Holden Media Development does we'll do the construction and everything for. So
you're talking about a physical location,
right.
Okay, right.
All right. Physical locations.
Okay, all right.
So it's also we're looking at designing some multiplex movie theaters, some different venues like that for concert promotions. So we have all of our own venues, nightclubs, a signature line of nightclubs, some hotels, casinos. So some things that we're working on.
Just a few little small things.
A few things. Yeah, just a couple of things.
This is so cool. Yeah. Now you have an extensive musical background because you came on the scene as a musician, a drummer. Of course, my being a drummer too, I automatically love you. So you were performing, doing studio work and whatever.
I started out 1970 working with my mother. I was 11 years old at the time, and playing drums for her. My mother's Jean Holden, and a fabulous singer. One of my favorite vocalists. My wife is my other favorite vocalist, Shay Chambers.
Yay!
And, I started playing drums with her, and I worked with her for probably about 10 years. And then when I was about 21, I went on the road with some other bands that was playing Vegas and playing West Coast, East Coast, still being originally from Toledo.
Yeah, yeah.
And I did that for about maybe 8 years by myself, just, performing with different groups, and then became a session drummer. During that period, I became a session drummer for most of the majors. And
check you out.
A couple of buddies of mine asked me if I would like to come into the offices and see how the magic is done. So I really got a hold of, from the major label standpoint, of how you can promote an artist, how to get them on the radio, how to do publicity, promotions. So I did that for maybe 3 or 4 years, and then I decided to form my own labels and took that experience from that and started building my labels. And I had a few artists that I was working with.
You're kind of a smart guy.
I don't know.
Well, certainly you seize an opportunity.
Yeah, I seized the opportunity. I looked at what
He's a smart guy.
The information that I had acquired over that time.
Yeah.
And just decided, okay, if I'm going to do this on my own, I have to do it. Even doing it on a small scale, I still have to do it on a big scale because, I try to always tell artists, especially independent artists, that your competition is not the other independent artists. Your competition is the artist that's already getting major airplay.
Okay.
So I had to think the same way as a company. My competition was not another indie label out there. My competition was all the big boys.
Already established.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So being inside those walls, I understood how the mechanics worked and understood that you need that machine behind you to make this happen.
Incredible. So you essentially learned on the job. I mean, you didn't go to school for this. Someone sort of took you under their wing, kind of, and just show. And thank God for the law of attraction, man, and said and brought you in and saw something in you, and you. I mean, obviously you've taken it and just gone to another stratosphere.
Right. I was the musician that would always walk into a club, and instead of just being on stage, I would look at how the place was built.
I got you.
How it was what's the budget of the club? What happens? What makes it tick? Because I always wanted to understand the behind the scenes thing, even though I love being a musician.
Sure. Yes.
I always wanted to understand.
I feel you there.
How it works.
Yes, the mechanics, the nuts and bolts.
Right. So that's why eventually I formed my.
And how come y'all ain't paying me more money?
Right. That's a big reason why I formed my property development division, because I wanted to say, look, we have all of these record labels and have all of this music stuff, and I wanted to be able to have our own venues of everything to be able to house those things. So if we are, we have a concert promotions division and we have 30 or 40 acts from our labels that are part of our concert
That's
promotion.
Great. So you have people on your label, and then you create a venue, an avenue, a forum for them in which to perform.
So they have their
cool.
They have their own home where we can say, look, this is, and I don't think there's any systems like that. I think people have attempted to do that.
Okay.
But there's not any systems currently where you have a label that has its own venues or has access to its own venues.
Okay.
They're having
so everything's in place. Everything's almost in-house for you.
Everything's in-house.
The way you're doing it.
Right.
Yeah. And I gather, because of your musical background, coming up the way you came up, because I mean, we talked about it earlier, playing the club circuit, the Chitlin circuits and everything else. So you know firsthand what it's like to be out there as an artist, as a performer, as a musician.
Right.
And you said, I can improve on, I'm putting words in your mouth, but I can improve upon this. I can do this better, and I can do this myself. And obviously you have been.
Well, especially the way that we approach our artists from a label standpoint.
Okay.
We approach it from my background as a musician,
of course,
because the first thing I look at is, yes, we're going into a situation where we're building this massive conglomerate.
Yeah.
But I just have to say, if I was an artist and I was being signed to this situation, how would I want to be involved with this? So I created everything on that. I told all of my presidents, I said, let's base this on this. All of our labels are. The genres that we have are based upon the experience that I had on the road. I did pop, I did country, I did Latin stuff. I played a lot of Afro-Cuban stuff on congas.
Love it.
And
you're talking to me now, brother.
Even when I was doing the Vegas thing, I was doing impressions and doing comedy stuff. So that's where the comedy.
That's where that came in.
So all of our genres are things that I know.
So these are all extensions of yourself,
right?
Of what you love and enjoy.
Right.
So you look out. I mean, it sounds like your companies look out for the benefit of their signed artists.
Right.
It's not just, okay, what can we extract from them? Okay, we had enough, you're done, and boom, out of here. Well, so I guess the major question it leads to, how does a artist contact you for possible consideration?
There's all of our labels have email addresses. Most times these days, everything is submitted through a digital form.
Yes, of course.
You can just send in a website or something like that. And all of our companies have their own submission areas, and which are reviewed by our A&R departments, and then ultimately our presidents.
So is there I don't mean to cut you off, because I want there's so much that you have to offer, and we only have so much time, but is there a key website we could give out for them to go to find out, okay, this is the division that I should go to, that's the person I should contact?
Well, if you go to TYADmusicgroup.com, that's TYAD musicgroup.com. You go there, and then you would look at each one of the labels. You can grab any one of the labels, and then all of the labels have their submission requirements,
criteria.
How to get there.
I love it.
And all that.
I love it. And again, that website he just gave out will be on the indiesinmotion.com website. So I know y'all going to be burning up. I'm going to get a lot of hits now. Yeah. But, because of your expertise and everything, I want to play a little something for you, and I just want to get your feedback on it. All right?
Okay.
Check this out.
Whenever you walk by, there's a spark inside your eyes, looking back at me every time. You belong to someone else, and you're trying to be true. So all that we can do is fantasize. I know that I can never ever kiss your lips. I know that I can never feel your touch. So when you're walking by, kiss me with your eyes. You can kiss me with your eyes.
Oh, yeah. I love that. All right, let's talk about that song a little bit.
You tricked me on that one.
Yeah, brother.
That is my wife, Shay Chambers. And this was when we first got together in 2004. Mm-hmm. She sent me some of her music that she had been working on. And this song was one of those. Yeah. And I kind of revisited back in, I think it was like 2008. I started listening to it again. She kept saying, "Why don't you do something with it?" So I said, "Okay."
You do own all these companies, and what's up with this?
So I said, "Okay, let me see what I can do." And I have a bunch of buddies from radio from many years ago. Good friends of mine. They're program managers, program directors. Mm-hmm. So I started calling up people, and I started contacting a bunch of other radio stations that I didn't know. And about 3 months later, she's #1 smooth jazz artist in Europe.
Wow.
And I just hounded people. I called everybody. I called all favors that, from many years ago. And I said, okay, guys, I need some spins on this. Come on, let's see what we can do. So I'm very proud of her. And she, because of, I don't know if maybe it was because of that, but she got her Grammy nomination in 2010 for Best New Artist. And then another one last year for a duet that she did with Jose Feliciano.
Yes.
So, we push, and her and my mother are probably the only ones that I personally put my hands on to say, okay, let's make sure that these guys are taken care of.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I let my presidents do that.
Let the other companies do their thing. Well, good for you.
I don't listen to.
You don't micromanage. And,
No.
Yeah.
I don't listen to music unless my presidents bring it to me.
Okay.
If we go out if Shay and I go out somewhere and we hear a band or something, I don't walk up to the band, give them a card or anything.
I
just say, look, if our president finds you or something, that's great.
If it's meant to be.
Yeah, because too many times there's presidents of labels and CEOs of labels out there that do that. And they'll walk in and they'll say, well, hey, I want to work with this artist, and your team has already been working on something, and then they stop the presses on something else.
Sure.
So I don't like that feeling, and I always promise my presidents that I would never step on their toes. I would never give them something and say, you have to sign this because I'm the CEO and all that kind of stuff. I just feel like that everybody's in place to do their own thing. And Shay, in her own right, is a great businesswoman as well. She's the president of our 2 film companies and our
I love it
animation studios and television studios. So, and her acting background gives her that ability to oversee her teams that she has. So
brilliant, brother. Yeah. I mean, drawing on that your hands-on experience and background, and then taking it into the business world and making it happen.
All my presidents, or most of my presidents, have a lot of experience in the industry. Tom Gorman is one of them. Kenny Burrell, Kim Langbacker.
Kenny Burrell's on your team.
He's a president of our urban label.
Wow.
Kim Langbacker, Javier Willis. Cal Bennett. These guys are very active in their fields.
In their fields, right?
And so I took them and said, look, I want to make you guys presidents and give you the ability to call the shots now rather than having to try to get the attention from others. So these guys are, and ladies have formed their own teams and have strong teams of people to work with artists that they're considering.
Fantastic.
So.
Yeah. We only have a few more minutes, but first, before I proceed, the title of that song that I just played of Your Lovely Wife is I have it somewhere in my notes.
Kiss Me With Your Eyes.
I should know. I know. It's so romantic. I just love it. I'm just a romantic kind of guy. And that's off her CD entitled
Shay.
SHEA, y'all.
Right, yep.
The one and only.
It's like Shea Stadium or Shea Butter for the ladies.
And go to her website, which is
ShayChambers.com.
All right. Yeah. I love it. Yes. She's actually in studio with us, but she said, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just here to support.
She waved high.
Yeah. But she does have on the headphones, so she's monitoring everything we say.
Yeah.
Give us some advice, man, because, the whole show, Indie's Emotions, about indie artists, and people at different phases and different levels of their careers. And, you're like, you have something going on that we're obtaining to get to a type of person like you, type of person, a president, your companies, or whatever else. So, but aside from going to this website and looking at the criteria as far as application, what other suggestions would you give for artists?
Always make sure that you are putting out the best product that you can put out.
All right.
Always make sure that you look at yourself as competition for the artists that are already out there in your particular genre.
Okay.
Just like with Melissa, her competition are gospel artists that are already
established
on radio already.
Charts.
So that's her competition. So she really needs to make sure that she can compete at that level. She mentioned Andre Crouch earlier, who's from my home state of Ohio.
Yeah,
and met him numerous times. But I always think that indie artists should really push to themselves to be as good as possible. Try to make sure that they do their music in a way and do their promotions in a way to get the attention of the majors, because everybody needs that, to have that machine behind them, because you're just not going to get out there and do what you want to do without having that machine.
So do you encourage them finding agents, managers,
Yeah,
a team.
Right, have some kind of team in place, because those teams are going to be able to introduce you to all of those different people. You know, having 1 million hits on YouTube is not going to do anything, because there's a lot of tricks that all the labels already know.
You were telling me about that.
And we already know that stuff, so it doesn't impress anybody. You having 2 million hits on you, that doesn't impress anybody.
Okay.
What impresses
Except
people,
for us.
right. But what impresses people is, you know, every radio station gets hit on by all of our promotion teams when they're hitting up a new record.
Okay,
if a promotion guy at or a DJ at a radio station hands over a copy of that artist's song to one of our promotions people, that's what's going to get their attention, because if radio is playing it, whether it's internet radio or traditional commercial radio, if they're handing your music over or making a recommendation, that weighs more with record labels than. Okay,
so we're like out of time, but the key thing I'm hearing is be ready.
Be ready.
Develop your craft and be ready, because you may only get that one shot.
Right.
And so don't cut corners and trying to whatever. Be ready, be professional.
Right.
And due diligence. Got to work it, because it is a job, isn't it?
It's a full-time job.
24
Got
to work
it.
Yeah. And like so many indie artists that I know, like Melissa and that who wearing multiple hats, who learn, like what you did. You learned the business.
Right.
You came in as an artist, but you learned the business, because it's very important to learn the business. And it's very important for me to say, man, I appreciate you being on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
The clock is like ticking down.
I really appreciate it.
But real quick, it's like, can you give us a hint of what's happening, what's new, what's exciting?
Oh, just a ton of stuff. We have so many different things going on that with our 3 corporations, we're in the midst of a major expansion. And,
wow!
So it's a lot of
great times.
Great things happening, and if you go to TYADmediacorp.com, it'll take you to all of our sister companies, and so you can kind of just hit different buttons and you can find out what's going on in different places, and so
very cool, brother. Well, again, I want to thank you, Jerry Holden, for being on the show. The wonderful Melissa Hayward for being on my show as well, and over there silently Shay Chambers waving.
We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. And I want to thank all you for being. Hey, you follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. Facebook is Rick.Mizuno and Twitter is @Rick Mizuno. Also, next week I'm excited, from Poland. I have a wonderful singing sensation, Lee Litt, and also from L.A., a singer-songwriter, Witten, will be on my show. And so it's always a privilege. Hit us up at stars@indiesinmotion.com. Send us your comment. If you're interested in airplay or interview consideration, fill out the request form on the indiesinmotion.com website. And if you're interested in my books, and I hope that you would be, you can go to my personal website, which is rickmizuno.com, in regard to my 2 books, 50-50 Split and From the Heart of a Man. And so until next time, peace, love, and Indies in Motion. Ciao.
We are wrapping up another great show here on Indies in Motion. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Make sure you find us on Facebook. Look for us on Twitter. Would you like some airplay and interview consideration? Well, then go to our website, www.indiesinmotion.com. We'll catch you next time.